A big hello to all my guys, gals, and non-binary pals, and welcome to Gaming Nest News, where we're just like Seinfeld, except our show is actually about something. My name is Richard Jellison, and once again I am hosting our program from my lovely and messy home office. This is kind of what happens when you've only lived at a place for about 2 weeks. Anyway, as Nest's broadcast manager, I have to make sure what goes to air is quality content, and I think we've got quite a spread of topics to cover today. And first off, as you probably know by now, I play a lot of Rainbow Six Siege, like a lot with my friends. And there's been quite the shakeup coming directly from Ubisoft that came in just this week. I'm going to throw to my biggest fan to tell us about the big changes coming up in Rainbow Six Siege's Year 6. Well, it's that time of year again. Rainbow Six Siege is getting an update in March, and it is a doozy. Ubisoft recently streamed out their roadmap and plans for changes and additions to their flagship esport game, and we're keeping you up to date just in case you're as lazy as I am and don't want to look anything up. But I had to, because I'm making this video. Whatever. Here's the news! First off, every new operator will be featured as the first unlock in the premium tier Battle Pass. Every season will have a Battle Pass with cosmetics and the like, but only the premium tier will unlock the new operator 2 weeks early. After this 2-week period, they can still be bought for renown like normal. This new operator on attack is Flores, and he'll be available in Year 6's first season, Crimson Heist. He seems like a force to be reckoned with as a 2-2 operator armed with Thatcher's AR-33, which is one of my favorite guns in the game, and 4 Rotero drones. When these drones get sent out and activated, they'll stick to whatever the closest object is, become bulletproof, and explode. So a mobile Zofia impact grenade that you can use from safety sounds pretty overpowered, right? Well, they're slower than a normal drone, and they're loud as all hell, and they have a 10-second timer before they auto-activate, and they move forward on their own. But when steered carefully into the enemy sight and triggered, they're definitely a force to be reckoned with. Of course, they can still be shot while moving around and taken out with a variety of gadgets, but what Siege needs right now is an attack operator who might just be too good. A game has been defender biased for far too long, and it's nice to have an explosive alternative to my main man Thatcher. Adding to the ability to take out lots of enemy gadgets is the Gon 6, a single-use grenade launcher style secondary pistol, that's a mouthful, that acts as a Zofia impact grenade and can shred enemy gadgets and open soft doors, walls, and hatches. Only a few operators are getting this beast, but at least it makes Glaz have a chance against castle barricades from a distance. Rest in peace, castle. You're pretty much just screwed with all of this new stuff. And if that wasn't enough, attackers now have the ability to switch during the drone phase. Yeah, you heard me, that's correct. You are no longer locked to an attack operator once the game starts. If you decide you need a hard breacher or some kind of other specialist or niche pick, you and your team can swap to Thermite or Lion or Nook before the drone phase ends, effectively giving attackers an even bigger chance to counter whatever it is behind those hard walls that you scoped out. All of those changes are being made to counter the 20-second meta, where attackers spend the first 2 minutes of a round clearing utility and only having about 20 seconds or so to actually make a push to win the round. It's an interesting change that will have huge consequences for the future of the game, but we'll have to wait and see just how it shakes out before judging it too harshly. To keep players active during a match, deployed drones and other camera-based gadgets can still be used once your operator is dead. Picks like Echo and Maestro will likely be seen in each and every round from now on, considering their plant-stopping ability will be absolutely crucial. This is one of the only changes I can see not actually making it to the live game, at least related to using drone and camera abilities, because it's pretty unfair for Echo to die while spawn peeking, but just have as much sway over the round as if he just camped in the corner the whole time. Goyo himself is also getting a rework. Instead of shields, he'll deploy these incendiary charges like he had on the back of his shields to floors or walls that will still likely combo with other traps. This will provide that area denial skill seen in high-level play, but without giving the defenders far too many shields to block lines of sight. Mira and Maestro are both getting the same change as well, where the glass in their gadgets can be shattered by attackers with a melee, which will obstruct their vision unless opened or popped. The Black Mirror / Evil Eye will need to be completely opened in order to provide your sightlines again, putting the gadget, or at least in Mira's case, the team, to risk. Melusi's dubstep machines will now open like a book while active, and they could be shot at to destroy them from a distance, reducing her viability and letting attackers have an alternative way of dealing with her. Besides all of this, Border is the first map this year getting a small rework, with a balcony added in the main entrance connecting the stairs and security, and a soft wall behind tellers, adding the possibility of a rotate through the bathroom. These changes are really small, but they can make a big difference, and we can hope that they'll shake up some of the current Border meta. Following this season, the next operator will be a Nakota Native American. Season 3 will feature a Croatian operator, and Season 4 will add an Irish operator, along with major map reworks on Outback and Favela, with some small tweaks for most other maps coming intermittently through Season 3 as well. Ubisoft is touching up their servers to make them more reliable, so as far as we can tell, as well as finally fully implementing the replay and reputation systems into the game. I can capture my matches without having to have OBS open all the time. Finally. But most importantly, new cosmetics will of course be added, including 2 for Dokkaebi and Echo, designed by Ikumi Nakamura, which I am a huge fan, and they look fantastic. And more importantly, maybe 2 coming from Capcom's Resident Evil series. I'm probably going to be buying the Jill Valentine Elite skin for Zofia the day it comes out. There's a lot of small details in the works for changes to others, like Fuse and Finka, and these will be reported on when they hit the TTS later this year. But for now, I think that's a big enough info dump. I think it's given me a lot to think about for the future of Rainbow Six Siege, and I can't wait to see how this year shapes up. I'm going to be spending a good amount of time in the TTS getting my hands on all of these new changes, not just for Flores in this season, but for the entire year. I hope they keep the TTS open for a lot of small changes that they're planning on looking at months ahead of when they're actually releasing, in order to make sure that they are balanced and patched properly. So maybe year 6 is the year Rainbow Six Siege finally breaks out of whatever shell it was in. It's a great game, don't get me wrong, but maybe this is the year it comes into its own. Hopefully it's not the year that it dies, because a lot of people have been seeing a lot of backlash to a lot of these changes, and only time will tell whether or not they're good. Either way, I'm probably going to keep playing for as long as I possibly can, because this game is so near and dear to my heart. You've had 5 years, Rainbow Six Siege, let's see another 5 more. Year 6 looks neat, and I can't wait to get my hands on the first day of launch. See you on the battlefield! Thanks a lot, Past Richard. It's really interesting the kind of stuff that they're throwing our way to keep the game's lifespan going, and I hope the game only keeps getting better. A small side bit of news that I didn't cover during that video is that Blackbeard is also getting a nerf, picture around here, and maybe even a larger rework coming soon. But that's enough from me. Project Supervillain is going to tell you what they think the top 5 games of March are going to be. Boys, take it away.
What's going on, everybody? We're your hosts from Project Supervillain. I'm Mark Drifter.
I'm Killboss.
And today we're back with some more news. In fact, this one's another top 5 for the upcoming month of March.
That's right. So we've got 5 new game releases that are coming out. These are just ones that kind of stood out to us, ones that we're hoping to get the chance to check out, and you should too.
Well, without further ado, let's get into it. The first thing I want to say right off the bat here is that there's not a whole lot of games coming out this month. It's a very dry month. So the games we have on tap here are cool looking games, but admittedly they're a little lackluster, and we kind of cheated with a couple of them because they're not full games. Some of them are remasters here, so let's just get into it. Number 5 is Overcooked All You Can Eat. It's set to be releasing on March 23rd for all major platforms. So this is going to be a remaster and a bundle. Essentially you're going to have Overcooked 1 and 2 put in the same package, and just rehauled for the first game is going to be redone with the Overcooked 2 engine. So all the updated mechanics and stuff that were in that game that people have come to love are just going to be added into that one. I believe it's all of the mechanics. I'm not 100%. They might keep some of the Overcooked 2 specific features over there, you know what I mean? Like there might be some other things added to that game that they might just keep over there. I wouldn't be surprised. So don't quote me on that part, but do quote me on this. They did add online play to the first one, so that was one feature that a lot of people were really upset wasn't involved in it. They were like, why isn't that a thing? You can now play with your friends online in Overcooked 1 just like you could in Overcooked 2. So that's a really cool thing.
Have them both, like all the time. Have both options, always.
Yeah.
So it's the same game that it's always been, basically just like a wacky fucking cooking simulator on acid. It's great stuff. This is the kind of shit that Gordon Ramsay nightmares about and shits his pants.
Yeah, it gets so difficult too. Like it starts off easy and fun, and you're all laughs and everything until about halfway through the game, at least in the first one for me.
And then you're like, where's the lamb sauce? Where's the lamb sauce? Take the jacket off and fuck off!
No, chef, don't
get out of my kitchen!
No, chef, please!
Fucking donkey!
So yeah, it's the same game you love, just remastered, all nicely done up. But we're gonna move on to our next title.
Cool. All right, number 4 on our list is a little game called Drifters Loot the Galaxy. That's a mouthful, but definitely looks interesting. It's a third-person hero shooter, so we don't see a lot of hero shooters done in third person, so this is going to be one of those, yeah.
A little different. I mean, we got Rogue Company out there and a couple others, but
most are done in first person.
Yeah, definitely more common in first person.
Yeah. Free to play, so there's that too. It's going to be free to play. It's following that model, which again, we've seen that with a number of different games kind of in this genre, so it's not entirely unexpected, but I think that's a good way to allow people to have access to it, to give it a try, see if you like it, and then if you start getting invested in some of the characters, you know, go ahead, throw some money down and show them some love, because it doesn't look like it's too bad of a game. It'll look like it'll stand up just fine on its own 2 feet.
Yeah, as I was going to say there, the free-to-play aspect of these kinds of games, we've talked about the pros and cons of them. We're not going to get too into it here, but just keep an eye out for those microtransactions, because that's usually what these free-to-play games typically are riddled with. You know, for good reason. They don't make money otherwise, so they got to make it somewhere.
That's right. Just don't be egregious with it. Like, don't charge me $18 for a color skin. Like, that's not going to happen.
We'll see what happens there, but they're emphasizing verticality in this game, so you'll see jetpacks and grapple hooks being used, which, you know, that is really fun. That's a cool aspect. I always enjoy high mobility in my shooter games.
Yeah, it makes them way more fun. It's like Titanfall, but like taken to 11, so...
Yeah, I don't know if I agree if it's going to be better than Titanfall or anything like that, but it definitely has some character to it.
Yeah, honestly, I prefer Titanfall anyways, but yeah, it looks like it's got those similar things going on for it. Jetpack, grapple hooks.
Yeah, because it's also got this cel-shaded art style, so it definitely is different from
cartoony looking,
Titanfall.
yeah.
It's got this whole cartoony vibe going on.
It is not at all like going to be in the realistic sense of things. Like, this is definitely styled to be like a comic book or something like that. So yeah, you can tell just by looking at it, this is going to have a different feel.
And you can tell just by listening to us, we don't know much about it. So that's all we've got to say for it. Just keep your eye out for that one, and we'll see what happens on release there on the 31st of March.
Cool.
So let's move on to the next one. Number 3. Here's Baylen Wonderland, or is it Baylen Wonderland? I'm honestly not sure. I could be mispronouncing it. Hopefully I'm not. All major platforms, and it's coming out March 12th, so look forward to that. This game is very interesting because it's got some uniqueness to it here. It's got some weird Disney influence going on with it, some anime and cartoony vibes. And it's a puzzle platformer, another third person, and there's a lot to it. There's a lot of customization and stuff as well.
Yeah, like for customization, you get a lot of costumes basically. Like, I don't know if there's really a character creator or anything like that, but it seems to be that you play as different characters and you get, they're saying up to 80 different costumes that all have their own abilities, which you'll need to progress or solve different puzzles through the game, maybe even just unlock some secrets. So we'll see how that all pans out, but that does sound rather impressive that they're giving you 80 different costumes all with their own abilities. That's fucking cool. There are 12 different worlds too, and each one's supposed to be their own story. So yeah, 12 different stories to play through, all with their own beginning, middle, and end, and probably certain characters. I don't know if any of them carry over, but that's a really cool concept to think about too. You know, it really seems like a bunch of different ideas are amalgamating into an awesome game right here.
I'm getting some Octopath Traveler vibes from that aspect of the game, but that again is pretty well all we know about this one. So again, let's move on to our next pick.
Number 2 on the list, Monster Hunter Rise. That's coming out on Nintendo Switch on March 26th, so that one, definitely a big name release. Lots of people, almost every gamer will know what Monster Hunter is, even if you haven't played it yet. So, like I said, Nintendo exclusive, they generally tend to keep those on their own platforms for the first little bit. I am hoping that it does come to other platforms, but we'll see how that all plays out. Could be a year, it could be a couple years down the road, who knows, it could be even just a couple months, we'll see. But it's just more Monster Hunter. There's no way that can be a bad thing, because Monster Hunter is the tits, man. That's some good ass combat right there, and it's like just really bulky against huge fucking monsters. It's got a lot of weight behind it. That's really fun. They're giving you more options to customize your characters, which is good. We don't know all the details about that, but one of the things that a lot of people have been talking about is you get to choose your voice now. Choosing your voice is just that it's a little thing that adds a little more personality. You know, you can feel more related to your character. I like that.
Yeah, apparently adding more of that to it, so that's really cool to see. One thing they are adding actually is the Palamutes, and if you're not sure what those are, essentially they're just adding dogs to the game. You had your cats, they're called Palicos. If anybody's not familiar with those, then you're probably not familiar with the Monster Hunter universe. Palicos have been around forever. They're your little helper cat friends. I like that because you can customize those guys. You can put your own fucking little kitty in the game, and they're helpful. They have been relegated to strictly support characters for this game, because the Palamutes, it's the dog characters, are going to be mainly for offense. So they're going to be there to attack, and I think you can ride them as mounts. It looks like you can go straight up a vertical cliff on them. Like, it's wild, man.
It's like, Jesus Christ, when you feed those dogs, man, it's some serious roids.
I don't know, but that one right there looks like Rapide from Tales of Vesperia. Tell me it isn't.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just another form of companion, which, you know, a lot of people in the Monster Hunter universe already really care for. They love having the ability to add their own little animal to their crew. And you have the option of having both a Palamute and a Palico, so you can have one of each, or you could have 2 Palicos or 2 Palamutes if you're a dog person or a cat person, or you want to mix it up. Which, you know, more options the better. Yep. I think that's really cool.
That's right, guys. But yeah, that's it for Monster Hunter. I mean, it's coming out soon, so keep your eyes open. We're going to move on to the next game.
So, we're going to hit you guys with an honorable mention here with Binding of Isaac Repentance. This is a DLC. We're cheating here. I told you guys we were going to do that. There's a couple, there's not much games coming out this month, so I apologize. We usually like to do full games here.
But this does look pretty substantial for a DLC.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you guys aren't familiar with The Binding of Isaac, I'm not really either. I haven't played it, but I really am interested in it because it's got this spooky, sometimes downright disturbing visual aspect to it, and it's got this grim and dark story. It's very intriguing. I really want to try it.
Yeah, and for anyone that's not played it before, it's a stick shooter, you know, played from an isometric view. Got a dungeon crawling aspect to it, so, you know, like fighting monsters, bosses, enemies, that kind of stuff.
You guys probably know more about it than we do, honestly. Binding of Isaac's a cool-ass game, and we're probably going to give it a try at some point. But, yeah, I do think the dungeon crawler aspect, I think there's multiple rooms you can choose to go in, and it's kind of like a puzzle of trying to get out. I'm not 100% sure on that though. So go check that game out if you're interested in the visuals you see on the screen there, or if anything we're talking about interests you at all. Go check out The Binding of Isaac, and then get the DLC if you like it.
Oh, finally, we've come to number 1, and it's another game from Joseph Fuck the Oscars Ferris!
One of our favorite guys, man.
Yeah,
He's
fucking
awesome.
cool. Yeah, It Takes Two is the next game from Hazel Light Studios. That's coming out all major platforms on March 26th as well. So that one definitely looking forward to, because we're going to play that in co-op, and that's basically what it is. It's just another co-op game by this studio, you know, on that level of quality that you've come to expect from Hazel Light so far.
So please tell me you've played A Way Out. If not, then you gotta go do that before this game comes out, because A Way Out is not even a long experience. You get a friend, you can play for free, which is another thing they're adding over to It Takes Two. So the Friends Pass gives you free co-op, so once you get the game, you can tell a friend, if you have a friend who wants to play with you, they can just go sit at home at their house, and you give them a code, and they put the code in, and they get to play with you for free. It's awesome. It's such a great business model. Very consumer-friendly practice from EA. I mean, obviously Haze Light's the one that did this, but EA's sitting back and letting it happen, so we gotta give them props for not fucking it up.
They're just footing the bill, and it's like, just do that all the time. Like, don't touch anything, just give them money, and don't touch anything. That's all you gotta do, and you'll get your money back.
Agreed. So the game clearly has lots of puzzles, platforming involved. It's got combat, even exploration looks like. So again, if you played A Way Out, you might be aware that the game consisted of many different mini games. Almost, it was an amalgamation of a bunch of different games kind of thrown into one, and it created a really great co-op experience. That's kind of looks like what It Takes Two is trying to do here again.
Yeah.
Except they are putting a little bit more focus on the platforming, which I think that's a good idea, because it fits the world, first of all, and second of all, platforming is lots of fun. So
yes,
it's a very good co-opable game mode. Is that a word?
I don't think it's a word, but we made it one now, so you know what? Put that in the dictionary, Webster.
Alright guys, that's going to be it for our top 5 for March. Come back next month for the April one, but we're going to have lots of cool news in between there too. Make sure you tune in to GNN every week. We'll have awesome news for you guys every time.
Yep, so make sure you stay tuned next week and every week. We will always be covering some awesome gaming related news here at twitch.tv/NestHQTO. You can follow them right here, and you can also check them out on other social media at NestHQ.
Yeah, go check out the YouTube specifically if you miss any of the content. You can find the full episodes uploaded there afterwards, so just NestHQ on any platform pretty well, and you can get caught up with what's going on. You can even follow us at Project Supervillain, so go to twitch.tv/Project Supervillain to catch us stream, and we appreciate that. But that's going to be it for our news segment this week, guys, so we'll see you guys next week.
Peace out!
I really like the look of It Takes Two, and considering the subject matter, I think that's a game that I can have a lot of fun playing with my wife. God knows we need more games to play together during the pandemic. And speaking of having fun, if you're ready, willing, and able, and have some kind of Shadow Play, OBS, or even Windows Movie Maker, you too can capture and create a clip. We want these clips and other highlights to show off what our viewers and our community can create. You can take those videos and send them to info@nesthq.online. That is info@nesthq.online, and I will personally go through each and every submission, and if it's a good one, we'll put it on our runner show. And leading into our next submission, we have new correspondent Wilden giving us a refresher on some Nintendo news that came to us last week. Wilden, take it away.
Howdy y'all, it's Wilden here to talk about the Nintendo Direct. That's right, Nintendo had their longest Direct since 2019. It announced a bunch of games, but maybe not necessarily the games that people wanted to hear about. They came in talking about the new Smash Brothers character, Pyro/Mithra, which is like one sort of character that can kind of transform. It's a character from Xenoblade, which I know a lot of people like the Xenoblade games. There's also an announcement, which is one they finished off with, was Splatoon 3 coming, not even until 2022 though. You see, Nintendo was talking about how it's going to be focused on first half of 2021 games, but they threw a couple out there that are coming later on, either at the end of the year or next year as well. They also talked about, hey, Super Mario Golf is back. That's what you guys wanted. We heard you. You know, there was people talking about, there's people who are fans of Strikers and things like that, but golf is one of those I've heard a lot of people have been waiting for a long time to get a new entry in that franchise, so there you go. And then the big, I guess, maybe elephant in the room is Legend of Zelda 35th Anniversary. Yeah, that's right. People were expecting maybe there'd be some updates on Breath of the Wild 2. Unfortunately, Nintendo didn't have any at this time, and it could provide some more info maybe later in the year. But having said that, they came out and said, hey, we'll give you a little bit something. We're doing the Skyward Sword HD remaster port to the Switch. Now, some people think that that's an awesome choice. Some people, not so much. There's other ones they would rather have. The internet seems a little bit divided on it, but it is an interesting choice nonetheless. There is rumors that maybe later on, Nintendo might do a Wind Waker or Twilight Princess port remasters as well, or maybe both. But it'll be interesting to see. I think maybe people thought that, oh, with the Mario 3D All-Stars last year, that maybe we get like a version of that with maybe Ocarina or Majora's Mask. As of this time, we haven't gotten any other announcements officially, except for the Skyward Sword coming back. They are having special Joy-Cons that you can get with it as well. And on top of that, too, they're having a Monster Hunter Special Edition Switch that's also coming out with a new Monster Hunter Arise game. There is a lot more smaller games they announced, but you can go check that out for yourself. But I will honorable mention Stubbs the Zombie is coming back. One of the best worst games ever. I remember playing on it when it came out on the Xbox, and it's a heck of a time. So make sure to check that out while you can. It's coming soon. And then also, let's talk about what's coming up here as well is a Pokemon 25th Anniversary. That's right, you have your Zeldas, but you also have Pokemons coming up too. And Post Malone is doing a special concert for that in a few days here. And it's going to be on the Pokemon site. It's going to be on the Twitch. And it's going to be something else. It's curious to see if Nintendo is going to announce anything Pokemon related on that day. In the meantime, though, be sure to check out the rest of Gaming Nest News for all the newest information and updates on what's going on with Nintendo. And I'll see you guys later.
Imagine, if you will, a world where you submitted a clip or highlight to info@nesthq.online, and it appeared here in this next section. Remember, this can only happen if you submit a video to info@nesthq.online, and it could look just like this.
I'm scared. Where's the facade?
Cav, isn't that little tiny building you go into that has like the construction site that you can drop down from?
Yeah, Legion's on that ping.
Old tower.
Valk is on the ping that on the
Valk just ran out. So.
red drop.
No, yeah.
Yeah, some real sick run out.
Did you get anybody?
No.
No.
She was throwing her cams. It actually, for Valk, probably was a pretty sick run out. Does anyone know where she ran out from? So we can try and figure out where the cams are?
That no-man fight was the best fight I've ever had. Not gonna lie.
It was here. I don't know where she put the cam, though.
Okay, watch the door then. They'll be watching.
Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna take the hatch on that side, but I got shot from the doorway. Getting a better angle. I like how
oh fuck!
Right.
Okay.
All right, I know where she is.
Oh, he left the game. Okay.
Get fucked! She ran up and out to get up here.
Dude, where are the
I've seen
cams?
somebody do that. It's fine. Valk's dead.
Well, they still have the cams.
We'll get inside.
Okay. Last I saw the Legion, he was down here. Hang on, I'll ping him if I can.
I heard somebody down here.
Maybe this isn't it. There's someone on ping 1 there.
Ping 1, okay.
And the Legion's over on ping 1 now. And the Cav's with her. I would not drop there.
I got the bandit.
Nice.
Yeah,
So,
now they know we're here, so...
Yeah, Legion and Cav were on the other side of the hatch, so watch that.
Yeah.
Yeah. They get my drone, probably. They actually didn't get my drone. What the fuck?
Are they still there?
Legion is still on ping 1, and the Cav is somewhere with her. With him, whatever. Okay, well this is not what Maverick is for, so... Just gonna take a long way around.
Yeah, I have to find some other entrance in. That door there, maybe.
Lucy's not seen, but she's probably with the hostage, TVH.
Cav's dead. Good fuck, Cav.
Oh, it's
Nice.
you. I was like, is the Malusi here?
Get fucked, Legion!
Nice. Okay, so Melissa's probably on point.
Most likely.
There's a Melissa trapper right at this door.
I don't see her.
Okay, that's Nathaniel.
Nice.
Oh, there we go.
Good kill.
I think that's going to do it for this week. Stay safe, wear a mask, wash your hands, and remember to follow us on social media. We have links below and in the corners of the screen, so give us a like and a follow, or maybe even a subscribe or something, so you can get all the latest news, updates, info on our broadcasts, tournaments, and other content. And thanks, of course, for watching, and we will see you next week.